Hey everyone, it's me. I didn't go in today because I know that the derailment has still been causing some problems, and to be honest I wasn't really feeling mentally strong enough to after my little TUI video yesterday, so I thought at least that I can log in on time and not have that sort of anxiety and that fear that I'm not in work doing my job when I'm supposed to be. So here I am. I want to touch on that video really quickly actually. I think sometimes as a journalist you just happen to ask the right question and it resonates with people and you end up getting these incredibly powerful stories from it, and that's what the video is going to be about today. And within 24 hours I've had almost 9,000 impressions on that tweet alone, so clearly it's something that people can relate to, even though perhaps I might have felt a bit silly at the time recording it. And I've had an overwhelming number of responses, and I think this vlog is really important. Today I'm going to talk about anxiety, I'm going to talk about panic attacks, I'm talking about pregnant women who are too scared to get the train, I'm talking about GP appointments and job losses. So if I never make another one of these stupid blogs, then that's fine. I think this is probably the most important one that I've done so far, and I'm really calling on SWR, I'm calling on Jeremy Hunt, our local MP, I'm calling on Grant Shapps, our Transport Secretary, to please watch this video and watch it through to the end and listen to these stories, because this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Phil, I fell on a severely overcrowded SWR train while pregnant. SWR removed a simple free-to-provide scheme which gave pregnant passengers a backup in case of now frequent network meltdowns. It's making me question whether I could safely continue working in a second pregnancy. Marilyn says, I shed tears watching your video this morning. It reminded me of my daughter's emotional state due to SWR delays, which led to her leaving the area altogether. Not everyone can do that. Alex McLean, a panic attack at Clapham Junction on an inhumanely rammed train was a nail in the coffin for me. Hugh Jager, a few years ago I had a panic attack at Gatwick Station. Staff had misdirected me so that I missed my train, and having made me ill they were worse than useless. It was late in the evening and I was terrified I might get stranded and unable to return to Oxford. Barnaby and Chris says, I have autism. Every day is a stress. Every day I wake up anxious, whether it will be another day of delays, signal failures or operational incidents. Disruptions that go until the end of service, points failures, lack of staff, skip stops, dirty trains and clueless staff. It's all about routines for people with autism. The state of this company has totally messed this up, and I don't have a daily routine as such anymore because I can't rely on the same train turning up every day as advertised. Clint Mayhem says, I've been complaining constantly about mental health. I've literally been driven to the edge by SWR, GP visits included. Work has become a hated chore due to the unbearable commute. I cannot wait to retire early as I hate my daily grind. Alexander Dingham says, I spent 40 minutes on a severely overcrowded train. It took me over an hour to calm down once I got to work. I get very anxious in such conditions. I took the day off as holiday yesterday because I just mentally couldn't face it. Surbiton Maynard says, I get anxious waiting on the platform. I feel sick before I need to travel. When I'm finally on, I overheat, I get shortness of breath and I go into panic mode, all because of SWR and their shit service. I leave after rush hour now if I'm working, or I work from home. I'm lucky to have that flexibility. Charlie says, I simply had to be in London this morning for an important work-related appointment. I've been anxious for days that SWR would let me down. I even looked into hotels so that I wouldn't have to travel. I ended up leaving 3 hours earlier than necessary to avoid any kind of delay. I think we've all been there, sort of leaving the house at least an hour early, just in the vain hope that we'll turn up on time for something we need to get to. David Whiteman says, my boss has 2 of his 4 senior direct reports on fairly long SWR commutes from Hampshire. He admitted to me that in the future it will be a question he asks in job interviews, and he will not recruit another senior hire who uses SWR. Stu says, I've lost a job because of SWR. Gillian Sclater says, honestly, there are times when I just want to sob. I feel pathetic, but it gets to me sometimes. The problems on SWR are relentless. Tabitha Beavis says, I want to cry most days. It's a soul-sucking, mental health-destroying service. Ilona McKee says, many times I've cried on the train home because the delays have been the last straw of an already stressful day. They just don't give a shit, and it shocks me that nothing is being done about it and the media aren't reporting on it. Rebecca Payne, I am constantly late to work. I also missed my children's bedtime last night. It's so draining. Caroline Cox, I hit a wall and actually gave up this morning and went home. 2 hours into my journey, I was only at Finchley Road and the Met line got suspended. The other line that's delayed almost as many times as SWR. This is the final straw and I gave up. I'm dreading tomorrow already. Christabella says, I'm 2 hours late this morning. Luckily, I could move my meeting this time, but many can't. This cannot continue. I think these speak for themselves. I actually don't. I've got loads more, but I don't have the time, unfortunately, to read them all out. Keep your messages coming. I'm so sorry that you're all going through this, and I really am trying my best to raise awareness of the issue and I don't know, try and get some sort of tangible change somehow. I just hope that someone who is able to make a difference has listened to this today. Thank you very much, everybody.